or pick something that you love to do that doesn't feel like work. For me, being an interior designer, it's always been my dream. It's always been something I love to do, and it's something that I could do for hours on end. I literally could eat, sleep, and breathe it and not be tired. So for me, it's not a situation where I feel like I am working like, oh my gosh, this job. It's just something where I kind of really enjoy what I'm doing. And so that would be my best advice, to make sure you pick a career field that allows you to be free, to be creative, and also make you really enjoy it and love it on a daily basis, and that it doesn't feel like work. That was the best advice that my father gave me when I was growing up. He pretty much just said, pick a job, pick a career field that you love, because you never will feel like you're working a day in your life. So pretty much that has been the best advice ever. All right, so I am just checking and making sure that you guys haven't left me any comments. Thank you so much for checking in tonight and chilling out with me on our live 7 at 7. Again, this is just a time where we kind of go over any questions you guys have sent me on my Instagram stories, on my pitches in my feed, or through DM, or that you guys have emailed me on my website. So pretty much that's what this is right now. I'm just going over all the questions, and then we're going to get into the DIY portion. All right, so I have 3 more questions, and then we're going to move on to the DIY. All right, so next question. I'm really wondering who has made these. My next question is, what is my superpower? Superpower. I think if I were to ask my family members what my superpower was, if my husband in the corner, oh my God, it probably would be finding things that they have misplaced. Um, Not being able to find things that they put someplace, and then I have like a photographic memory, so I can remember exactly where I saw something, wherever it happens to be in the house. So that's kind of where I am right now, and I think that's kind of what my superpower is. I guess that's what I'll say. Um, all right, next question. What is my favorite DIY? Um, Man, I have a bunch of them. My favorite DIY would probably be my office, because it allowed me to do a lot of different projects. I actually built the bookshelves in here. I did the wainscoting. I did the painting. It was a really great project. And if you guys have any questions about it, or are interested in learning how the project went from start to finish, feel free to check the link in my bio and go to my blog, and it will take you directly to a couple blog posts where I detail, all the way through how I created the bookshelves, what my design concept was behind it. And, they're standing up pretty well. I'm still using this office. I use it on a daily basis, and I love it. So my complete DIY from myself and just me, no one involved, would be this particular project right here, which is my office. Aside from that, I don't know. I think all of the projects that I do, so all of the design projects that I have done with my clients have been amazing projects. Projects in my home where I've done, my kitchen, which is also another project that I have gone through and given you guys information on doing that. It saved me about $10,000 in painting, and hiring someone to come in and paint the cabinets. Paint the cabinets for me. We ended up having my father, who is a licensed contractor, come in and actually do that for me, which was great. So that's one thing that we ended up doing, and I love that as well. Let's see. Okay, there's my boo, Catherine. So Catherine says, you probably answered this. How and when did you find out your passion was interior designing? That is really, really, really good. Okay, so I would probably say I found out that my passion was interior design when I was young. So I was the kid who was always experimenting in my room. So I would experiment with things like paint color. My mother and I used to always thrift all the time. So we would go to the yard sales, we would go to the thrift stores, we would go to the flea markets, and I always found myself gravitated to picking out things for inside the house. I would never really pick out toys and stuff like that. And I always loved visiting my grandmother's house. And my grandmother had the most amazing pieces in her home, very beautiful antiques. I loved her, jeweled glass doorknobs. I just loved everything about the beautiful rustic feel of her home, because I'm a country girl. So I used to be able to be allowed to kind of, use my creativity in my home. I would save my allowance money and actually spend that on paint, which is crazy. But I did. I painted my room like almost every year. I painted it different colors. I went from, hunter green to Kelly green to blue to gray to red to yellow, which is my favorite color. So I definitely like to experiment. So, for me, I kind of knew that that was something that I love to do. And then, work with my father, who, is definitely the jack of all trades, who works in so many different things. He's shown me different things when it comes to carpentry. He's shown me different things when it comes to brick masonry. And so I kind of always wanted to be around those kind of things. And so it just kind of was an easy progression, I guess, for me. Surprisingly, though, whenever I graduated high school, I ended up going into the military. And so I did that for 8 years. And then I did my same job once I got out of the military as a general contractor, and never really did anything design related. And so once I left that job, my husband kind of said, if you were to go back to school, what would you be doing? And I kind of said to myself, like, if I were to do something else, it would be something that I absolutely love to do, which was this. So that's what I ended up doing. So hopefully that answered your question, Catherine. For me, like I said, it never was anything that it was an easy progression, but it always was something that I loved to do, and it wasn't anything that ever seemed like work to me. It always seemed like fun. And so even through, all the, different clients and the different types of people that I've had to deal with in this career field, I've always still loved it and still wanted to do it. So that's kind of how I have decided to give back in that way. So for me, that's how I knew. So hopefully that helps and that answered your question. Hey Sonia, hey Astrid, hey guys. So yeah, I've got one more question. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I have one more question. So again, if you guys have any questions at all whatsoever, that you want me to answer during the Q&A portion, feel free to just type them below in the comments and I will answer them before we move on to the DIY. So I'm super excited about showing you guys how to do these napkin rings. So I'm hoping you're excited. It's really easy, I promise. You literally only need for 24-hour feed and like I planned on doing, and then just upload the video to YouTube so that you actually can see, close-ups of actually how to do it. So leave me a note and let me know. Okay, so Astrid says, please do. So if I get enough comments below that tell me to save it, then I will save it for you guys. Next question. What is one thing you plan on learning this year? This year, one of my goals was actually learning carpentry, like actually learning everything there is to know about carpentry. So my father, as I told you guys, he's the bomb. He really is. And he's learned everything literally by someone teaching him a little bit or just learning, through trial and error and completing it and trying to make things on his own. As far as like the brick masonry and things like that, he's gone to school for that. So for me, my goal this year is to actually learn carpentry and to teach myself it. So I have a bunch of projects outside and projects inside that I'm excited about doing, and that is going to actually, pull me, along, I'm hoping. And I'm not going to call my dad. That's also one of my goals as well, to not call him, which is definitely a great thing for me to just be like, hey, let me show you what I did really quick. So whenever I brought him up here to see this space, he was just like, who was in here? Who did you hire to come do that? And you could have called me. And I said, no, I really want to spread my wings, and learn how to do things on my own. I've always been, a daddy's girl. So it's really easy to fall into that, I guess, and just to be like, hey, I need some help. But I kind of, wanted to stick with that women's empowerment thing and just say, okay, I can do this, and teach myself how to do it. So that's one of my goals this year, learning this year. And I definitely have always loved calligraphy. So I'm thinking maybe if I get, the carpentry thing down, hopefully to learn how to do that. I've always loved, the look of the different fonts and things like that. And I think it'd be really interesting to learn how to do that and do some hand-lettered signs and things. So those are the questions that I have, guys. So again, if you have any, I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any more. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below and let me know. How everything is coming through on your end, and if you have any other questions that you want me to answer before we get into the DIY. So leave me some hearts if you guys are ready for the DIY portion, just so I know you guys are ready to go. And we can go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to take a sip of water really quick. All right. Cool. So let's see. All right. So now the DIY portion of our night. I'm super excited. I'm so excited. I didn't even bring a napkin ring up here. Completed, but it's all good. So what I did was, I pretty much went to my Walmart, because I love Walmart, because Walmart has all the amazing things. And I picked up some really cool buttons. I don't know if you guys can see these, but some really cool buttons. I like stuff that looks like blingish, you know. I kind of like it. That's just me. But you don't have to pick up anything, you know, specifically that looks like this. But I also made sure that they had a little area on the back where you can hook the stuff through. And that's what we're going to be working on. So I'm hoping you can see it pretty well. You guys on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, I'm hoping you can see it. So I just got a regular button. They have a wide variety of different buttons at Walmart, or any one of, you know, the places like Michael's or Joann, that you guys can pick from. But whatever button you pick, you want to make sure that it has a little indentation out in the back that has a little looped area where you actually can attach everything. So that's what we're going to use to attach. And so for this project, you just are going to need a button or several buttons, depending on how many napkin rings you want to make. Standard tables, you know, are 4 to 6. Some of them are 8. For our table, we have 8 of them in one area, because I always make extras just in case. You never know what happens. You know, some kids can come over and mess up something, and so you just want to make sure that you have some extras. So always get some extras. And then you're going to get some jump rings, which are in a 3-pack. It's one pack that has 3 of them. So it has like a large, a medium, and then the small. And so for this project, we are going to use the large portion. And so this one pack was like $1. And I think there was like 200 of them in here. And so you can use them for, you know, anything you want to use later. And then you want to get the extra large jump rings that kind of look like a keychain holder, if that makes sense. So it's going to have a little area on the back, you know, where you open and slide your key rings off of. So those 3 items. And then you also want to have some needle nose pliers. So it's pretty easy. And then what you do from there, you're going to take your button. You're going to take your button and this little area in the back, and you're going to attach the jump ring through here. So the easiest thing to do is just to take one of your medium-sized jump rings. And like I said, they come in a 3-pack. You're going to use the medium, excuse me, you're going to use the, we're using large. We're going to use the, let's use it large. We're going to use the large jump rings. And so you're only going to need one of these. And like I said, it comes in a pack of like 200 in 3 different sizes for like $1.99. And they're called jump rings. And you can get them at Walmart. Same thing for your buttons. You know, you can use any button that you want. So there's 2 different ways that you can attach them. I do it this way just because it's easier, and you can change it out if you like. So you're going to take your jump ring, and you literally are just going to open it slightly. And all you're going to do is take this little piece and slide it through the back of your button. And hopefully you guys can see that. So you're going to slide it through the back of your button, and it's literally going to be attached like this. Pretty easy. Now, some people have used, you know, super glue. Some people have used hot glue. I don't use any of those things just because it's easier to change it out. Like I said, and I like to change out my napkin rings. And then you're going to get your jump ring, your large one, and you're just going to slide it through. So those of you guys that are just now popping in, hey, Johanna. Those of you guys who are just now popping in, like I said, we are making the napkin rings that are actually on my feed. And those napkin rings are fairly easy. Like I said, you're only going to need 4 things. So you're going to need a needle nose plier. You're going to need the packet of jump rings from Walmart. It literally just says jump rings. They're on the same aisle that the buttons are going to be on. So everything that's in the craft section, that's where you're going to be. So in the craft section of Walmart, Joann, or any one of those places, Hobby Lobby, whatever you like to shop at, that's where you're going to go. And then you're also going to have your button. Any specific button that you want to get. I like buttons that are blinged out. That's just me. I just feel like on the table that I've used them in, I kind of want the ones that have a little bit more detail on them. So again, we're just using our large jump ring on the back of your button, and whatever button you get, you want to make sure that it has a opening in the back that allows you to be able to thread that jump ring through. So you're going to take the jump ring, as we said, and just hook it to the back of this right here. Fairly simple. And then you're going to take the bigger jump ring, which is similar to, like we said, the keychain ring, and you are going to just hook those through. Sorry guys, I'm trying to hold everything together. And once you get those two hooked through, hey Tracy, once you hook those through, you're going to take your pliers, and all you're going to do is just close that loop. I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but you're going to close that loop right there with your pliers. Okay. And so I'm just going to hold mine and close it up really quick. And I promise you guys, like, this is so easy. The other version of this, you literally could, you know, do, but it takes a little bit longer for that glue and everything to adhere. And the super glue, same thing. And it's just not as easy to do and use. And then once you're done, literally you're gonna have something that looks like this. So whenever you set it on your table, that's what you're gonna see in the front. Sorry guys, that's what you're gonna see on the front. So, and when it sits, it's gonna sit like that. So it's fairly simple, fairly easy. I've done several of them. I've also done some, trying to find my little guy, where it is. I've done some where you've done like soldered, and you'd literally buy the same thing, and then you would just solder the pieces together on there. And I'm terrified of these things, like legit, like I am so terrified of bugs. So I don't even know why I bought that. But anyway, so comment below. Let me know if you guys want to see it again. You have any questions, or, you know, if you got it, or if you have any questions about where you can buy the pieces from. Definitely fairly simple, quick and easy DIY that anybody could do. I definitely love being able to share with you guys and share these things, just because I'm not the person who's going to be paying. Like I said, I love things that look ornate. I'm not going to pay $15 or $8 or $10 per napkin ring. Those things are super expensive. So I love to be able to show you guys different ideas, just thinking outside the box on how you can create things on your own, in your own home. It's not something that necessarily is going to have to cost you a lot of money if you actually just, you know, think outside of the box. So again, I'm just going to run through really quick what you're going to need. Just in case you guys missed it in the beginning and you're watching it on the rewind, you're only going to need buttons, whatever buttons you want to get from wherever you want to get your buttons from. I got these from Walmart. They were on the craft aisle. They have a bunch of different ones, so just pick out whatever buttons you like, whatever buttons are in your taste. And you're going to need the pack. It's one pack, literally, of jump rings. And so it comes with the small jump rings, the medium jump rings, and the large jump rings. And then for this DIY, I used the large ones just because it was easier. I didn't want to have anything super small that was going to, you know, take too much work to be able to maneuver it back closed. But this pack was like $250 in here, and it cost me like $1 for that. And then you're also going to need the bigger rings that are kind of similar to the keychain rings, but they also are called jump rings. So you literally can just go online, go and do a quick order on, you know, Walmart or whatever it is, and do an in-store pickup, or go in-store and pick it up, and you're just going to do jump rings. So that's what you're going to look for, and then you're going to pick out your buttons. And you can use any button, you know, buttons that you have at home, buttons you find while you're thrifting, but you want to make sure that whatever button you get is a button that has an opening on the back that you can actually thread it through. And that's going to be what you use to connect your napkin rings together. Okay, let's see. Sonia says, love the button idea. I've always used charms from Michael's that had to be glued on. LOL. No worries, girl. I mean, look, I'm trying to help everybody out. I've done that too. I've definitely done the gluing on thing, but I kind of like, I want to see it done. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be completed, and I want to see what the finished product looks like. And so I've done the glue, I've done the hot glue, and for me, you know, in a house where I have 5 kids, that stuff is not going to hold up. So at least if I do it this way, it lasts a lot longer, and then it's a project that we can do together and then change out. I kind of like getting everybody involved, and they love setting the table and unsetting the table when we eat dinner. And so I think it just makes it look a lot more presentable, you know, when you have something pretty. And then when it's the DIY that you've done, you can kind of be like, hey, I did that, you know, when you come and show your friends your table and things like that. So again, you guys, if you would love to, you know, try this DIY and do the DIY on your own, feel free to go ahead and do that. Definitely tag me, and let me know that you did it, because I would love to see your creations and see what you guys have, you know, cooked up. I definitely enjoy our little community together, and being able to share and being able to, you know, have this back and forth, conversation with you guys. So I'm super excited, to see what you guys have done. Definitely want to make sure that I don't have any comments on either. Okay. On either. I think I've pretty much gone over everything. So I'm hoping you guys' day has been going pretty well. I don't have any other questions, and we're kind of at 7:52. So I try to kind of minimize my live videos and try to keep them at an hour. But feel free, if you have any questions or anything like that, to leave them down below in the comment box, and I will go over them. I kind of previously already have gone over the Q&A portion, so if you missed that, feel free to go back and check it on the rewind. I think if you guys want, I will leave it up for 24 hours. If not, I'm just going to leave it up on YouTube, on my channel, which is also linked underneath my bio, on Instagram, if you're watching on Instagram, or if you're watching on Facebook, the same thing. And on YouTube, obviously, it's going to be directly underneath the videos on my channel. So I have it that way. And again, if you decide, you know, you want to, you know, go ahead and create something and do it on your own, feel free to tag me. Let me know. Again, I'd love to see what you have. Again, if you're watching it on the rewind, go ahead and check out all the questions that I had previously answered. Those kind of, you know, were fairly different for my 7 at 7s. Normally I get a lot of questions about places I like to shop as an interior designer, or my favorite interior design project, or have I dealt with any, you know, clients that were, you know, not clients that I would ever want to deal with again. So those are type of questions that I normally get, but this one was a little bit different and more personal, which I like. I feel like we're kind of on that level now where we can, you know, go back and forth and, you know, really get into all the things that are going on in our lives and things like that. There's been a lot of things that have been going on lately with people in general, of course, and I always, you know, seek to be the person to, you know, be able to be that one who gives you guys the, you know, motivating word or the inspirational word, or, you know, check on you and make sure everything is okay. So of course, if anything is going on, feel free to reach out, you know, let somebody know what's going on with you. It's always easier when you have somebody else to help you lift that load. Hey Sarah. So definitely, if you're catching it on the rewind, feel free to go back through and check out all the questions that we've already gone over. Questions were favorite place to shop, hardest part about being a mom, the best advice about following my dreams, what my superpower was, my favorite DIY, and what is one thing that I plan on learning this year. And then I also just went over the DIY portion of the napkin ring. So if you missed that, check it back on the rewind. It also will be from there. It's going to be on my blog. I'm going to do an in-depth blog post where I'm going to give you guys links as well. If I find any coupons as well that will help out with you guys being able to purchase everything, I will also link that in my blog post. And there also will be a video on YouTube where I go through step by step and show you guys exactly what you need and how it goes together and what it looks like in the end. So if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, the napkin rings are in my feed. They're the rings that are listed in my bios. The same one that I had you guys do a poll on and ask me if you an answer if you wanted to learn how to make them. So that's pretty much what we've gone over. Again, thank you guys so much for rocking with me. This has been like almost an hour. But thank you so much. I'm hoping your day is going amazing. And we will do this again next month at 7 p.m. on the 7th. So right now it is June. So the next one will be in July. I'm debating whether or not I want to do one in July because that's like right after the 4th, but we'll do something cool. And I'm thinking, since I like the DIY ones, we'll kind of maybe try to see if we can mix those in together like we did tonight. Do a Q&A portion in the beginning and then a quick DIY at the end. So let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. Comment below in the box and just let me know if that's something you guys will be interested in. If you actually just like the Q&A portion of the, you know, live 7 at 7, Or if you are interested in also doing a quick DIY where we can kind of go through, I'll let you know ahead of time what we're going to work on, and we kind of do this together. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. I would love to do another DIY with you guys and kind of see how it goes from there, and what you guys actually create on your own. I'm super excited. I love sharing and being able to show people different cost-effective ways of making their home look amazing. Again, it's kind of the same thing that I share on my blog. Also, it lets, people who are my clients and people who aren't my clients, or people who just subscribe to my newsletter and just read my blog, know that there's different ways to kind of do different things, and you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money if you don't want to. For me, my home has always been a mixture of high-end pieces and low-end pieces, and I kind of like conversation pieces as well, and pieces that you can't tell if they're high-end or low-end. We kind of like playing like a high-end and low-end game in my home, where people can kind of guess which piece is which I think is really, really cool too. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me. I don't see any more questions under here. But again, if you're catching it on the rewind, feel free to go back through to the beginning and look at all the questions that I already answered. And if you have any questions that you want to ask me, but you don't want to put them underneath my pictures, or you are kind of scared about typing it in the box at the bottom of this video, feel free to just click my little face and send me a DM. I love DMs. I respond to every single one. Also, if you want to send a question as well and do one through my actual feed, or if you want to send me an email, or if you want to do it through Instagram stories, you can do the same thing and I will respond. I try to respond to as many of the questions as I can that are underneath my pictures, just because I feel like you guys take enough time to go through and type them out and type all the questions or type the comments out. So I always want you to feel like you're appreciated. So I definitely appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for checking in. And that is it for tonight on our live 7 at 7. So I'm getting ready to end this, and I will leave it for you guys later to be able to watch through on the rewind. So thanks again. You guys have an amazing night.